everyone, and welcome to the Tips and Bricks Podcast, where we discuss all things Lego and share some of the community's best tips about those bricks we all love. My name is Bethany. My pronouns are she, her, and I am one of the hosts of our podcast. Welcome! Yay! Okay, today. I'm in a really great mood, people. Today, I'm joined by our host, Clay. Clay, how are you?
Thought I was in a good mood. Maybe not up to the level that you are, but I will strive to reach that level today. Y'all know me already. I'm Clay. My pronouns are he, him, part of the team, podcast, all that fun jazz, blah, blah, blah.
Well, this week, Clay and I are joined by a very special guest. Felix is a Tips and Bricks contributor who recently celebrated his 1 year anniversary with us, having joined the team in the fall of 2023. Felix is a lifelong fan of Lego and especially loves some of the retired themes like Power Miners and Atlantis. He's a huge Star Wars fan, like many of us on the team. I have come to appreciate his knowledge of Lego lore, like things about
Hmm.
castles. His posts that take deep dives into themes are amazing. So, Felix, welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you.
Hello there. I am Felix. My pronouns are he, him. I'm from Germany, near Stuttgart, and at the moment I'm working on my master's degree in mechanical engineering. You might, like Bethany said, know me from such posts as the Castle Factions post, or the History of Lego Dinosaur series 1 to 3. Yeah, very excited to be joining you today and also in a good mood.
Well, Felix, it's great to have you, of course. We've gotten to know you very well over the year. When it said it was your first year anniversary, I was like, really? It seems like it's almost been longer than that. But I feel like you joined it with a crew of a few other people at that time, so I guess that's why it also feels like it's been longer because we've had a few people since you, I suppose. So you're not one of the newest anymore.
Yeah, I'm already an old bone, right?
Yeah, you'll be in the next History of Dinosaur post. And also Felix has been around since 2023. Well, since this is your first time being on the podcast, and of course, the first time the audience gets to really hear from you beyond the post that you do for us, we just have a question that we ask all first time guests, and it's, all about the Lego hobby, which can mean a million things. Some people build by themselves, show at conventions. Obviously, we're part of a virtual community as well. People love minifig theme, or I guess minifig scale. So when you think about all of those things that relates to the Lego hobby, we want to know about your very favorite part of that hobby.
Well, I mean, I like to build. That's like, I don't think a big surprise. And I also really love collecting Lego. I think that's like one of the cornerstones of the hobby. But what makes my love for Lego a bit more than just likes to build and collect is I really love the storytelling in Lego. I love the Ninjago theme. I love the
Mm.
Atlantis theme, Power Miners, all of those. And not just because of the sets. I really like the characters having fun and
Hmm.
interesting stories to tell. I mean, I was totally one of the kids who would take the minifigures and just slap them together and have like epic stories with them.
Hmm.
Um, I really think you can see my love for the story behind the themes, behind the sets coming to life in the previously mentioned Castle Factions post. Like the first one, I was really shocked how deep the 30 years of lore can get for that theme. Like even just taking a little peek inside of that theme, you find so many layers of cool stories still waiting to be explored.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, stories just don't even contain to like the Lego themes. Like I'm sure you all have great convention stories how you got
Hmm.
special pieces in your collections, stories of meeting other AFOLs, like all of that. I love that.
Such a great answer. Because I was right with you as you were talking about the lore, and I back when Bionicle first launched, I was a big Bionicle stan at release. Though I usually don't tell people that because I'm afraid they'll test my knowledge. But just the deep stories that Lego themselves puts out is cool. But then when you also connected it to like all the other stories we have as A-Falls, I love that. Such an incredible way to describe the hobby.
Well, I have a question for you, Felix. Is
Yeah.
there a theme or a storyline right now that's really captivating you within Lego, whether it's old or new?
Well, obviously, like the IP themes would be like a cheap choice, but like Lego original themes, I really have to say, like before making the castles post, I was like, I love castle fantasy with the trolls. See part two, but like part one really surprised me. I was just thinking like, yeah, you have the dragon knights, the good knights, you have the evil skeleton knights or something like that, and that's it. Like, oh man, I fell down such a rabbit hole researching for that post. Like, you pull a layer back, and it's mostly just like you see a random advert. You see
Mm-hmm.
like the Fright Knights fighting the Forest Men and
Mm-hmm.
also fighting Villa the Witch. And on another ad, you see the Fright Knights and Villa the Witch fighting the Forest Men. And now you have two completely different ads.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what's the story? And here I have to give a little bit of congrats to the mobile game team on Lego Battles, a cool app, but the most important thing that they did, in my opinion, for the post was that they introduced the plot of the leader of the Fright Knights being mind controlled by Villa the Witch, the witch character,
Oh,
but sometimes breaking free from the mind control and just fighting back. So now they have
interesting.
they have just like 20 years later, no, 30 years later, they just have introduced a reason why there's two adverts.
That
And
is
I'm like,
so
Wow.
cool.
wow, that's so cool. Like 20, 30 years, we're still getting new layers on this castle lore.
Oh my goodness. Well, this
Wow.
makes me really excited for the game that we have coming up later in the
Yes.
podcast because it's a new game we haven't done before and it's going to like dive into the lore of things and I'm excited that you're going to help me because I'm really nervous. So that'll be good. But Clay, why don't you kick us off into our first segment for today?
All right, so today we are hopping into a segment that really kind of encompasses some of what we do every day behind the scenes at Tips and Bricks, and it's also something that y'all probably do in your own communities as well. This segment, Custom Conversations, is just where we talk about mocks or my own creations. As I'm sure we all know, mock is an affectionate term for something that a Lego fan, like all of us here, design or build. So it's not just building something straight out of the box, but instead building something that we come up with an idea with. So before we jump into today's specific topic of custom conversations, I want to hear a little bit about what y'all have been building. So what are you working on lately, Felix?
So I recently worked on an awesome mock of a minifig scale Mercedes SS cars or an oldtimer for a competition, and it really worked out great. I wanted to build this yellow version for quite some time since I'm a great fan of the show Lupin the Third, and he actually drives one of the yellow SS cars. So it's like a really iconic car, and I am a great fan. I wanted to build it, and now the competition came along, and it was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that now. And I got on Bricklink, ordered all the parts, and man, it looks so cool.
So did you design it before? Like you designed it in studio, so then you knew exactly what parts?
Yeah, I worked in studio actually. I don't do this often, but it's for a competition. It needs to look as good as possible. And like minifig scale is anyways a really awesome, really tricky thing. So I got to work on studio and just planned it all out. And I have to say, I did quite a lot of tricking with the build, but came out great.
Oh, very cool. I can't wait to see it. You'll have to get some good pictures of it once it's all put together so that we can all look at it as well. And then what about you, Bethany? I know that you are often at conventions, but is there anything new that you're working on or editing?
So I just finished making Muppet Treasure Island, where I took the Muppet CMF characters and put them in the world of Muppet Treasure Island. And anytime I do a major mock like that, it was actually 3 different mocks to tell the 3 different parts of the story: the tavern, the ocean mutiny, the jungle. I feel like I almost have like a creative hangover where for a while after, like I'm just spent. Like I've poured all this emotional love into this build and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. But inspiration did recently strike, and there are 2 projects I'm actively working on. My next build that will have movement as like an automata vignette, I want it to be something with minions. And I am not sure if I'm going to do the minifigure scale minion or if I'm going to see if I can make the new brick built large Gru minions, if I can make those move, so like their arms move and things. I feel like that could be like a mega build. I'm going to see what I can do because I think that could be really fun and a huge challenge to myself because I've focused on making minifigures move, but I feel like animating a character is a lot more tricky. And then the other challenge I'm giving myself is to see if I can fit movement into minifigure habitats. which part of me is like, this is a great idea. And part of me is like, you are absolutely insane for trying to fit gearing into minifig habitat, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to be impressed with that. I mean, you could do most of the gearing behind and, just have one axle run into the habitat wall. So it's possible.
It's possible. I have ideas, but I might be insane, but we'll see. So that's what I'm working on those right now.
Well, just to say, Bethany, if you can motorize the crew himself, like the kids are gonna love you, the parents are gonna cry and clear, but it's gonna be absolutely awesome.
That is what I'm going for. Oh my goodness, Felix. So this is okay. There's a self-serving reason why I'm doing the Minions is because when I displayed Muppet Treasure Island at 4 different shows this year, all the parents were so excited, and all the kids were like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, there's a bear. Oh, is that Elmo for animal?" And I was like, "How do none of them know the Muppet?" And my old heart, almost 40-year-old heart, just died as I realized that I am now very old, apparently. So I am looking at doing something that will be iconic that kids could recognize as well, because they get excited when they saw Winnie the Pooh. They got excited when they saw Snoopy, which Snoopy is not new, but none of them knew the Muppets. And I was just like,
That is tragic.
it is. And the parents also felt that same emotion of like, how do you not know the Muppets?
I hope you had dozens of families going home after the convention, like, we're going to sit down and watch every Muppet movie right now.
I want to start a Muppet Renaissance.
Well, I am not as brave as either of y'all taking something exact to replicate or throwing motion in everything that shouldn't even move. But I've been inspired by the Dungeons and Dragon minifigs lately, so I picked up some this week and have just been building. I didn't want to do a habitat, so I guess we could just say a biome, maybe like just little, usually 16 by 16s that have little foliage, like broken down castle, kind of fantasy world stuff. I've made some little hidden compartments in some of them, so I don't know. I'm playing around with it, but I felt like I was also in that kind of like hangover phase that I've been in almost since Brick World Chicago, which has been like 3 months at this point. But I feel like I haven't been building a lot lately, so opening those minifigs really like made me almost literally run upstairs to the Lego loft. Just like I gotta build something to put this in. So I've been building a lot this weekend, which has been fun.
Have either of you used the new 2x4 base plates with the new printing that come with the minifigs? Have you used those? Felix, you're nodding your head yes.
Yeah, I've got them. I tried to, but like the problem is the black, honestly. Like if they made them light gray or something like that, they would work so good. But like the black really, it's difficult.
I haven't yet. I've seen some good ones already on Instagram that use that print pretty clever. But I agree with you. Like if it were grays, it would be so much easier to fit into a mock, but the black does kind of stand out. All right, so I'm glad that we're all building. That's always fun when we got some projects going on. So for today's custom conversations, though, I want us to talk about something a little more specific, which is set upgrades. So this goes beyond kind of some of what we've been talking about, where we're brainstorming a new idea, even if it's based on an IP already, but we're taking an idea that Lego has not yet produced, and we're building it from the ground up. With a set upgrade, or what many people call a mod, we are taking an official Lego set as the foundation, and then we're modifying it in some way. So, that's one of the things that's awesome about Lego. You can build something straight out of the box, and if you say, hey, I don't really like this aspect of it or that aspect, you can just edit it and change it to be something that you want. I know, Felix, you did a set upgrade post for us back in post 2351, and you took the official Coruscant gunship, and you showed some ways that you can, I mean, the best word is upgrade it, make it even better than the version that Lego made. So you want to talk us through a little bit about like what inspired you to make that post and decide to want to tackle a Star Wars property and make it even better?
Yeah, sure. Before starting though with the gunship itself, I have to say, like, as Lego fans, you have normally three big problems. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough space. So like modifying sets kind of takes care of all three of these aspects. Because like you take the set and you don't have to build it from a 0 point. So you don't have to buy all the bricks, and it's normally cheaper if you have already a set which you can then modify than starting completely from scratch. Because like if you start completely from scratch, you can get so good geometry and stuff. I love all the mocks in the world, but they often use like a loads of little bricks to get all the details right, which is awesome. which is totally awesome. But like money and time problem, yeah, just take a pre-existing set and modify it. You don't have to use as many bricks. You don't need as much time to get the layer, the foundation ready. And then space, you already have the set, probably already had it on like your shelf, and so like yeah, you don't even need new space for it.
These are all excellent points. I feel like we could just stop this segment right now. Like, that is so good. Like, no, for real though, those were awesome. Like, such a good description of it because A-falls were always full of ideas, but those barriers that you're talking through make so much sense if you already have kind of what you want from the start, and it's just making a few changes. So I love that perspective. Never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, so now getting back to the gunship. I mean, I follow the rumors, all the leaks and information floating around, and like, I'm a big Clone Wars fan. I grew up with the show, so like, I was target demographic for that. And when I heard the leak about the Coruscant Guard getting a re-release after being so expensive on the aftermarket, it was really like, just like, yes, I can get my hands on them. And like, to be fair, Lego did a phenomenal job with the clone trooper themselves. They did a cool job with Palpatine, a good job with Padme, and so far with the minifix. But like the set itself, like we just came off the UCS gunship, which is just the best. Really, I love all the designers did with that set. And like in comparison to that, the Coruscant Guard gunship could never live up. But like that made it such a good choice to just modify it because we already have seen a fair enough larger version of the gunship, which just looked amazing. And so you could just go back and try again with the smaller version.
Yeah, I'm looking at your post right now, and yeah, there's a lot of details that you upgraded that I would never have thought of, but your upgraded version, it looks right. Like that's really cool. I really love this. Again, if anyone wants to see it, that's post 2351. But great job on that mod up. Like that upgrade is really good.
Well, thanks. Like, I really just also got my hands in like the fan outlet at the time, the fan information available when that set released. Like, we had many complaints about the double doors, like the sliding doors not being completely there, and like that was like a huge point in the community I wanted to fix with that post.
That's what I was gonna kind of ask next is like, what made you decide to change the things that you changed? Was it, like having it in your hands and swooshing it around, or you're like, hey, this doesn't really work? But it sounds like, I mean, a lot of sets, people are pretty vocal if there's something that they would change or do. So it sounds like you kind of used community feedback as your inspiration for the things that really needed to be upgraded.
Yeah, definitely. Like the Coruscant Guard gunship, it was just like was such a vocal point, especially in that wave. It was like the most commented on set, I believe. Like so many people. I mean, it's Star Wars. So many people complaining about it. It's like naturally coming to that set, but like, yeah, there's so many cool things you can do with this set because like it's a very basic build. Like even comparing it with some of the older gunships from like 2012, 2008, they had more going on. They were bigger. And so, yeah, it was really the small stepbrother of the series so far.
Well, I have a question for you. And this might be something that not everybody knows, but in Bricklink's Studio program, it's that free online Lego digital building software that they have. You can actually select a set, any set from the catalog, and import those parts into a palette or actually have them appear on the ground. And so you have that to start with. I've used that sometimes and like built the set following the Lego instructions. When you upgraded your gunship, did you do it digitally? Did you do it hands-on, a little bit of both? Like what was your process?
So I already had the set sitting besides me, but like the renders you see in the post, all digitally. So it's exactly as you said. I imported the parts list and I started building it completely in Studios. And then I only went back to the real set for like the second window, as an example, which has this big white stripe across it. And like that should have normally been a print. It never was in a normal Lego set, so I was totally okay with it just being blank in a usual Lego set. But like for like an mock up for an upgrade modification, I really wanted to put the white stripe there. And it was super difficult getting that white stripe there without making the ship exponentially bigger. So like I went back to my real set and I took all of my pieces and I just started trying different techniques out till something fit and I could still fit a minifigure in, and I really tested it myself. And that's what you see in the post, and I just digitally recreated it as a twin.
That's such a good tip about importing the palette so you know what parts you're working with in studio. But I like too that you have the balance, because sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, this kind of makes sense in studio. Or like you're talking about trying to represent something that ends up changing the scale dramatically. So kind of having that balance of both virtual design and doing the hands-on. I mean, I'm sure that's what Lego designers do every day at work too, is that balance of both physical and virtual building. I was going to ask you, Bethany, if there's a set that you've taken and done some type of upgrade with, whether, I know you talked about building within studio, whether it was that or even a physical one that you've modded.
Yeah, this has actually become something I've really enjoyed, is taking a Lego set and then expanding upon it. So for my Muppet Treasure Island, for example, I wanted to create a pirate ship for the mutiny, and I was like, well, I don't know how to build a pirate ship, but I'm sure it can't be that hard. And then I happened to pick up the Lego Creator 3-in-1 pirate ship and built it. And then I was like, oh, yes, I have never built a ship before. This is way harder than I thought. So I used that, and then once I built it, then I was able to take it and modify and change it out so it could be a Muppet pirate ship. And I gutted the inside so I could put in my mechanics, and I changed the flags and things. But I've really enjoyed taking sets or elements of sets and incorporating them into my builds. And it's fun to see people walk by and go, oh, I have that set. And then like see their, especially little kids, see their brains start going of like, oh, I could do this. Um, I really love using a set as like a idea starter for something. And so like I said, that Gru and Minions one, I think I'm gonna work on that first. Who knows? I may come up with two Minion builds, the small size and the big. Um,
Have one on both sides of the Muppets so the kids can be watching those while the parents are looking at the Muppets in the middle.
right? They'll be like, Mom, what's the green frog thing? I don't know. Yeah. When and in fact, whenever I have someone who says, "Oh, I could never do what you do. I just want to, how I don't even know how to get started." The first thing I tell them is, I didn't know either. I just started with a set and changed a few things. Like to me, that is a great way to introduce somebody. My 75-year-old mother-in-law just got into building Lego for the first time in her life. And we were just at a show together last month, and the joy that she had was just so much fun. And we got started by taking the little hedgehog, the one with the hearts, the hedgehogs in love. Yeah, yeah. She loves hedgehogs. So she took that and she turned it into a little scene. And like it's just so much fun to see her starting there and then her mind just take on ideas. So that's been really awesome for me because as we get older, it can be more intimidating to start something new. And so I'm really proud of her for just diving right in.
That's such fun. And I mean, it's great advice too. We could have just named the segment like Advice Hour, because y'all are just spitting things out here that are so useful. I mean, but seriously, starting with a set and then just doing a slight mod, or like in the hedgehog, building a scene that it fits in. These are such good ways to ease into mocking, get yourself more comfortable with it. Because, I mean, it is intimidating sometimes to begin a project. So if you just start with that foundation, I feel like it's so much easier to get into it that way.
Well, and I love, Clay, what you did with the Friends Community Center. I know that you reviewed that one. I don't remember what post your community center review is. But I love how after you reviewed it and built it, that you then changed it into a modular cityscape with like a pathway and a bridge. And like it was just such a cool way to expand upon the set. I loved what you had at Brick World Chicago this past year.
Well, thank you. It was fun to build too. And I mean, when I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Brick World Chicago, I should show something," that thought of starting from the ground up really was kind of terrifying. So being able to take a pre-existing set and riff on it and recreate it in a way was made me more comfortable doing it, made it feel more accessible to get into Brick World. And then, like you were saying, I had a lot of kids would be coming by like, "Hey, I have that set." I'm like, not quite, but it's still in the ballpark for sure. But yeah, that was post 2051 when I got to review the Heart Lake City Community Center. And I just took both that and the community kitchen and essentially made it on a 48 by 48 base plate that would fit into a modular city. Obviously, it's a little deeper than Lego official modulars, but because of that, there was like the sidewalk kind of goes between two buildings where one was 3 stories and one was two. I took an elevator from the recent ski resort, I believe it's called, or now I need to look this one up, but I'll put it in here later. I took an elevator from a winter ski set that you can ride the elevator up using the new worm screw and then slide down the ski slope. So that was part of the community center as well. So I kind of modded a few sets together and then, of course, made a bunch of little original things that fit into it as well, which was a delight.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, the original Friends set has an open back because it's play scale. And yours, you will call it modular cityized it because the modular buildings are closed on all sides. So you had to work within as well to not close it off, but to create outside architectural details on all sides.
Yeah. And I took like the original architectural details from each floor and tried to mostly mimic that. Some had to change up a little bit and some I just didn't love, so I edited it. But yeah, I took the buildings and fully enclosed them, all except one floor was like an open seating area, so that one was. But yeah, even just doing something as simple as enclosing a Lego set that has an open back for play is another great way to get into this kind of upgrading and design where you can take a beautiful like city building, but make it fit more into your modulars.
Well, just let me ask, Clay, was like the Friends module, I know you love that set, like it really came through in your review, but like was that like the only one you considered, or were you like, I want to do one of these three, and did you have specific reasons for choosing the community modular?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm trying to remember if there was another one I thought about. I don't believe that there was another one I jumped onto, and it was because I don't feel like at shows you see a ton of mini dolls, and I also feel like I am huge into color, and I love the color blocking of this. And I was like, I want to take something to show that is colorful and that some people will look at, be like, that thing is gaudy and hideous, and just like have something bright and kind of different from what you might see at other tables. But I mean, I put both mini dolls and mini figs all throughout it, so I kind of have it like a true community center that involved all types of figs.
Your the way that you had it set up for those who didn't get to see it in Chicago, it reminded me of an Italian Riviera scene almost, with the way that you had a walkway going through, but like each house has like its own bright colors, but in this case they were levels of colors. And
You know, I feel like I need to go unpack it and put it up somewhere and show it off. Get it out of its box and rebuild it now. What about you, Felix? I know that we talked about Coruscant Gunship, but is there anything outside of Star Wars that you've upgraded?
Yeah, I really, I mean, for the thing I really wanted to upgrade as immediately as I saw it was like the Jurassic Park T-Rex breakout diorama. That's 76956, I believe. And like, I was a dino kid. I totally was a dino kid. I could name them from A to C all day long. Like, I'm sure we all have met someone like that. And when I first looked at the set, I was like, cool Ford Explorer, cool minifigures, cool fence. And then I looked at the T-Rex and like it suffered a bit from like the creator syndrome, as I like to call it, where like the T-Rex had a very boxed face, a very like square head. And like that's cool. I love that in like the creator, and it's probably actually more accurate than the Jurassic Park cat. So like accuracy wise, completely good. Like to the real thing, probably better than what I did. But like to the movie where all the heads are pretty fatless and sunken in, I looked just like a bit off, and I went like, yeah, no, I don't really care about structural integrity like Lego designers have to. And so it could just like really get into the anatomical details of the T-Rex and change those.
So you redesigned only the T-Rex and then put that T-Rex in the same scene?
Correct. I really loved the complete set, like the complete diorama is so awesome. It's just like the head and the feet of the T-Rex I really wanted to change. And then I started changing the T-Rex completely, cause why not?
Yeah. Once you get started, you can't stop. That's such a cool way to do it too, because I mean, it's a beautiful display piece, and I'm sure that's why many people bought it so they could put it on display in their homes. So you left like all of that part as Lego created, but like you're saying, where those designers are limited in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of factors like price. They have to keep it at a certain point, use specific colors and molds, I'm sure within limits, and then also just make sure something is super stable. So if it's on display, it's not going to randomly fall over. So that you're able to kind of work outside of those confines and then make it fit what you know a T-Rex should look like. I think that's such a cool way to mod.
Well, thanks. Yeah, no, I was really proud of that, and I have one last example to give, and that's the Ninjago City Market modular. I'm sure everyone here is a fan of the Ninjago modulars.
Yes, I love them.
I love them so much. Like the latest one, the market. I really had have in my display case. I have space for three 64 times 64 base plates. I had the museum on the one side, and I had the OG city on the other side. I just had like the middle space. And as you know, the markets area is really wide. It sometimes gets criticized for not having enough in the middle. And so it was just like, well, I want to put it between my two other modulars. And it's anyway feeling really empty in the middle. So I just take the two halves and just squish it together. Like, yeah, now I have it sandwiched between the two other modulars. And it's really scuffed because like the card basically drives into the disco. And yeah, that won't work in city safety inspection. So like, yeah, I'm really happy how that turned out.
So does the actual what is it called, Sky Car?
Yeah,
Does it still function in your Smash Together city?
you can actually move it like 5 centimeters, and then it's in the discotheque of Derek, I think. Yeah, like I was really careful in putting minifigs and big monsters and mechs before the disco, so you can't see that Raycon would actually smash into that.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. This was an awesome conversation, incredible tips. I did not write down anything yet, but I'm going to come back and listen and write down some of these things we talked about. So, thank y'all for sharing advice and your own stories. This was an awesome custom conversations all about upgrading or modding official Lego sets. And then, no matter where you are in the world of MOCs, whether you are building from the ground up, playing around with mods, just getting started, be sure to follow us at Tips and Bricks for those daily tips about custom building. And then if you want to see those set upgrade posts specifically, I find it easiest to go to the website. That's www.tipsandbricks.co.uk. And then you can easily sort post by types. You can look at only set reviews, set upgrades, favorite Brick Friday, whatever specific category you're looking for. And then as always, we want to hear from y'all. So if y'all have other topics that you want us to dive into on custom conversations or even other sets that you want us to make a set upgrade post about, please share those ideas with us wherever you find us at Tips and Bricks.
All right, let me kick off then game one and only. All right, so I mentioned earlier that Felix has a special game for us. Now, normally we hosts do the game and our guest gets to play along with one of our other hosts. But in this case, dun dun dun, the tables are turned. I have no idea how this game works. It is a complete mystery to me. I just know the instructions I received beforehand. So I'm very excited and nervous, but it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. So, when we were developing our podcast, we did lots of behind the scenes work as a team, and that helped create some of these ideas for segments. And Felix came up with this one.
Yeah, when we were doing the prep, I was on the recording where we trialed this game. Actually, one of our former guests, Brian, and I were doing the segment with Felix, and it was a wild ride. I feel like I stepped away from it just grinning from ear to ear because it was so ridiculous and wacky. And since you're our guest, Felix, like Bethany said, we're skipping our games and we're giving it to you today. So let's go.
Well, it's time to rumble. Get ready!
Oh no.
It's time for the Lego Arena, where two legendary characters meet head to head, but only one can come out on top. I gave you two a bit of homework. I asked you to choose your two favorite themes you want to see compete in this Lego Arena. So, Bethany, you decided for Lego Elves. Can you tell me why?
Yeah, so you told me it couldn't be a theme with an IP, so Lord of the Rings would have been my go-to, but Lego Elves is not far off. I love it just because the sets are so phenomenal. They've got fun movement elements to them. The color palette is amazing. I love the design, the funky plants. Like, I just put one together that had red plants and lime green plants, and it was so cool.
I love
And
that.
dark blue, but also it's special to me because my teen daughter is huge into elves right now, the Lego theme, and we just found a whole bunch of sets for a crazy insane awesome price. And so we're building them together so it's fresh on my mind. And so elves is my person thing that I'm going
Your
with.
person thing
My
theme.
person thing theme.
It
Yes.
is a super cool theme. There's a retail or resell store close by, and every time I go, I have to go and stop at the case that has the elf sets because those colors, they're just absolutely beautiful. And I even bought one of the what did we say they are? Goblins?
Yeah, the little goblins.
The little goblins, like these tiny, almost little animal molds that I don't know. I guess they're supposed to be villains, but they're also super adorable. So one time while staring at the elf sets, I was like, I gotta have one of these, and it's just hanging out in our Lego city somewhere. I just move them from place to place throughout.
Great, I really agree. Like, elves is such a cool theme. Like, I love all the animal bits, like the giant turtle. Where else do we gonna are we gonna get the giant turtle? Like, so cool.
Yes.
Now it's over to you, Clay. You chose one of my all-time favorites, Monster Fighters. Why?
I love like the spooky dooky themes, even Hidden Side, which did not last long enough. Like anything that has kind of creepy monsters, darkness, I'm super drawn to. And I only own one Monster Fighter set, which was the hearse, which I think is such a cool set. And it has this function where you can launch the Lord Vampire out of his coffin in the back of the hearse, which is
What?
such fun. Oh yeah, it's amazing. There are these fun little functions in a lot of the Monster Fighter sets. But I mean, they have some truly iconic sets. The Vampire Castle, the Ghost Train, I think is still one of the coolest trains Lego has put out. There's like all these bones and glow in the dark elements. So I like the spookiness, and I don't know, it's kind of fun and cartoonish. Like even though there are monsters and all these cool monster and zombie and vampire prints, the heroes are also like kind of wacky and have such fun details to them as well. So that's why I love this theme.
Yeah, I mean, I just agree. I love it. I love all the random scary monsters. I love the moonstones. I love all that.
Oh yeah, the
So,
moonstones are cool too.
yeah. So now let's get to the rules of this engagement. So, after I'm going to introduce your two contestants, your two champions, and you have to really embody those champions. I want to see some real
Oh,
lively reactions. No, after I give them to you, give a little bit of a lore breakdown, we can get started with round one. Here, each of you is going to give me an iconic Lego location you would like the fight to happen in. This could range from Heart Lake City to the Bog Tower in Ninjago City. And in the same turn, you also have to give me a reason why both of these characters would be there and willing to fight each other. Fight in like little exclamation marks. I'm going to give you a bit of a breakdown
engage
later.
with one another.
Engage with one another, that's correct. I will then choose one of these two locations as your arena as the game master.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So let's continue with round two. In round two, each one is going to tell me, each one of you is going to tell me what kind of battle our heroes are having. This could range from a bloody melee brawl to a siege battle, but also be something less violent, more friendly, like a bake-off or a race. Just try to keep the strengths of your characters in mind. Again, I'm going
Mhm.
to choose one of your ideas, which will then move on.
Okay.
In round three, we are going to decide what kind of scale a battle has. Is it just our champions, or do they have their henchmen with them? Or the iconic vehicles, maybe a hearse or something.
Or a turtle.
Or a turtle.
Oh, hearse versus turtle.
So, after deciding on the scale of the battle, it's finally time to duel. Starting with round 4, Clay, you already played this once, so I'm going to let you start. You are going to explain how you think the battle, the engagement will go down. Then it's Bethany's time. You are going to tell me why is your character going to win, basically. And I just want to see you have the back of your champion. Really, even if you don't think your champion is going to win, please just like help him out. He needs that win.
Oh boy.
So then we will move on to the final round, round 5. And now, not only your champions are going to have a little bit of an engagement, but you are too. So it's going to start with Clay telling me why Bethany's view of the battle is just wrong and his character is simply going to win, because why not?
Hey, I'm always here to tell people when they're wrong.
That's like half this podcast. And
Especially the Evan episodes.
couldn't agree more. So, after Clay's view, Bethany, you are going to tell me why Clay is wrong. Sometimes even he doesn't get things right.
I'm so non-confrontational. This is going to stretch me. Okay, I got this.
So, those are the rules. The rest is have fun. I'm now going to introduce you to champions. So, sit down,
Okay.
have a listen, and be ready. I'm going to start with Clay's champion from Monster Fighters. He is going to get Baron von Rose, also known as Lord Vampire,
Oh.
the leading bad guy of Monster Fighters. So, Clay, you ready to hear a bit about him?
Yes, this is, like I said, one of the few minifigs I have, because I have the one without the cape, unfortunately. But I do have a minifig of Lord Vampire, so I'm super excited to hear more about him.
So, he's your standard vampire at first. He hates sunlight, he hates garlic bread, he loves the darkness, all of that. He can shapeshift into a bat and loves sleeping upside down. Well, that's not all. He lives in the vampire castle in the monster realm, also in the haunted mansion, cool set. And like you said, Clay, he loves to drive his iconic vehicle, the hearse, driven by like his little zombie henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
He's also married to the vampire sprite. Creative name, thank you, Lego.
We are not even giving her a name.
And he has zombie henchmen, but he also has like his man-bat henchmen, which two are in the castle set, if you remember, Clay. But that's actually not the only place where you can get one of those man-bats. Cause in the Lego collectible minifigure series, see, I said there was going to be lore. In the Lego CMF series 8, there actually was a man-bat figure. And they stated that man-bat is the leading commander of Lord Vampire's man-bat army.
Stop.
What?
No.
Not
Yes.
CMF lore too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now I have to add this to my Bricklink wanted list.
Wow.
In the set, there's basically brown man-bats, and the CMF man-bat is black and the special leader one of the group. But unlike his master, he doesn't actually like the darkness. He actually loves going out in the sun, which his master can't do. And yeah, you know, the Vampire Lord, his whole deal is that he wants to bring eternal darkness over the land, over the monster realm, and then over the real world. And our heroes are naturally going to stop him. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what heroes Bethany has to put up against Lord Vampire and his evil legion.
Can anything beat a vampire? I don't know. Okay.
Apparently, Bride of a Vampire could. Unnamed Bride.
Now I have to add a little last detail, and that is that the Lord Vampire, Baron von Rose, can actually do magic.
Oh.
And that's because of his Moonstone. If you want to see cool Moonstone builds, go check out Brick Fam Build on Instagram. She did some really cool human-sized monster fight Moonstones, and they just look fabulous lighting up in the dark.
Oh, that's what those are.
Yes, that's what
Oh.
Jen made at Brickworld Chicago. They're so cool.
They were amazing.
So
And
cool.
I'm now looking at the original Vampire Castle Palace saying set, and I see the moonstones around the
Yeah,
moon. Oh, this makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a
there were
cool
different ones
piece.
in different sets. So she
exactly.
recreated like all of them with all the different designs on them.
Oh my goodness, that's a really cool piece.
So beautiful. So to give the last bit of lore, Lord Vampire actually was pestered by his wife, Lady Vampire, to get her a moonstone. But when he found it, he actually realized that he could invoke magic with the stone. And in his case, in the vampire stone, to be exact, the bloodstone, he could invoke mind control. And so he started controlling all of the other monsters in the theme who were actually not evil in that case. And he
Oh.
forced them to gather up all of the moonstones because once he got all of them, all of the magic stones, he could invoke the ritual that would lead to eternal darkness.
Oh my God, my guy is so evil.
Yeah, such a
It's
dark lord.
perfect for me. Wow.
Yeah, I thought I was going to challenge you a bit with a bit of an evil character. So, Bethany, are you ready to get your fighter, your champion?
Sure.
I hope you got a good one.
So, what could beat a vampire, a bad creature, but a bigger bad creature? And I'm going to give you Noctura, the Shadow Witch.
Ooh, she's cool. Okay, I accept.
She's one of the final villains of the Elf themes, and she's actually a shape-shifting Shadow Witch, like I said. She could transform into like a giant bat, as you can see in the set 4196, the Elvenstar Tree Bat attack, where she herself transforms into a just gigantic dragon-sized bat and attacks the good guys.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, have a good look. Her iconic item is the Shadow Staff, which allows her to invoke her magic. And she was banished by Lumia, the Guardian of Light, who she actually thought was her friend, into the Shadow World. Lumia actually is kind of a good guy, but she did send her friend completely unreasonably into the Shadow Realm, banished her. And now the elf Noctura spent her whole life planning to escape this Shadow World. And she's not just brawn, she's actually very smart because she has a laboratory in which she created the loyal bat minions.
Mm.
So those are like, they all have funny names. Fury, Molo, Vesper, File, Hippo. If you ever seen one of those tiny bat pieces, basically in like different colors and
Mhm.
like different personalities, a bit like Smurfs. One is angry, one is lazy, and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So now her plan is, get this, to capture all of the elemental stones of the four guardians and harness their power. Sounds familiar?
It
Yes.
does.
Yeah. So now her plan is to escape, get all the stones, and become the new master of Elvendale. How do you feel about your champions, Clay?
I love my champion, as evil as he is. I don't know, this mind control thing, it's pretty powerful, but I have a feeling Noctura is not a weak-minded person who could be easily manipulated. So we'll see how vampires' powers stack up against Noctura.
Bethany?
I mean, I'm looking at her right now, and she has an absolutely amazing outfit. And as we know, wardrobe is everything. So, just based on the fantastic printing alone, I feel very confident that my Bat Minions will take out Clay's Bat Minions.
I mean, understandably, she also rides in like a stunning carriage, as you can see in set 41195, the showdown set.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. See, I want sets like this now. I
Yeah,
missed I
totally.
missed my era.
Totally,
Yeah.
it's such cool sets. I really wish I got some of them. Okay, so now, are both of you ready to rumble?
Rumble!
Locked and loaded.
Like the battle for the ultimate Bat Lord, Vampire, Shadow Witch. That will just be amazing. And so, let's get into round one. Clay, why would Lord Vampire fight Noctura and where?
Well, in terms of why, I would say both of our champions are power hungry and want the world to reflect what they want the world to be. So I'm thinking that they're going to fight because they do not see eye to eye. I don't know. I mean, there's some love for bats here, so there are some similarities, but I think that they are just not having the same vision of a world of ultimate darkness. So that's what I'm thinking this battle is going to be, that they are not ready to just bow down to another Dark Lord or Lady. And I get to choose the where?
Yes, exactly. Just choose one of the iconic Lego locations for the fight scene to happen in. Basically, where is the arena?
So, Lord Vampire is obviously pretty limited in terms of day and night. He has a clear and obvious weakness. So, this counts as a Lego location, right? Can we go to an Arctic outpost? Like, there's been Lego Arctic themes, and I'm thinking if we go up there, it could be at the time of the year where it's almost always night. Can we go to, like, the
Ooh.
Lego Arctic?
Oh man, that sounds amazing. Like in the frozen tundra, like, oh, that would be cool. Like a research station way back at the
Yes, okay,
horizon.
I love this idea.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that arena. Like maybe if your characters fight, like big chunks of ice can fall down or something like that. That sounds cool, Clay.
okay, cool. And it's gonna be the time of the year when it's all night, so don't even try to daylight me, Bethany.
Well, Bethany, it's time to choose Sydney, Australia, right?
Yes, right. The polar opposite, quite literally. In my world, this is what is happening. It is time to celebrate our bat minions. And regretfully, both of us have shown up at the last Bats Are Us in the medieval marketplace. And we see that there is one last magic stone available that each of us want for our bat minions as a gift. And in true Black Friday fashion, we are going to duel for who gets the last bat gift for our minions.
Well, Bethany, that actually referenced something I wanted to say to your champion, and that's that I have a nugget of lore for Noctura. And that's that all of the laboratory bats, if you want, well, they actually see Noctura as the mother, and she actually has motherly love for all of her cloned children.
Aww,
Oh,
that makes me happy.
So getting children is that's yeah, no, that's a good point. And like the medieval village is a perfect place to have a good old vampire lord battle with a witch, a vampire. And yeah, that holds up. So now it's my turn to choose, and you didn't make it easy. I really love the Arctic arena, but I think we have to go with the village, cause like
yes.
that just fits with like the old and creepy setting.
Mm. And it is, yeah, the the idea of us battling for our bats is so much fun.
Not just battling for our bats, battling for the last magic stone gem thing for said bats. Yes.
So, Clay, I think I'm still going to give you the little nugget and say it's night in the village.
Okay,
And
thank
that's
you.
why they have to
Thank
fight
you.
like the shop is about to
I mean,
close.
oh, that's even better. I was gonna say Bats R Us feels like it would be nighttime hours, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's like right at night. We're both running in there to get it, so that's even more fun. Good.
that sounds perfect. So, are you ready to move on to round two?
Yes.
We're ready.
Good. So, what kind of battle do you want your characters to have in like the village in the Bats Are Us shop? Yeah, Bethany, you are going to start with whatever you kind of want to see. Is it a race, horse against carriage? Is it a bake-off? Maybe both of them are trying to do the best bat treat? I don't know. You tell me.
I feel like, well, and you'll have to help me out here with the lore.
Yeah,
Noctura's got like the ability to do like wizard zapping, right?
yeah, all the good witch tropes like
Okay.
zapping.
I feel like she would want to do a tug of war with this last bat gift with the Vampire King, but does the Vampire Lord have the ability to zap things as well?
No.
No. Okay. Well, she's going to play tug of war on her own then. So the battle they're having is tug of war.
I mean, it's totally possible. Like, your witch obviously has like big magic powers, but like, I don't know, Lord Vampire, he is pretty strong. He's like the typical vampire strength, so maybe he doesn't even need magic to win that tug of war.
True.
Clay, let's move on to you. What do you see your characters doing?
So we're competing for this last thing in the store that we really want.
Hmm?
So I feel the best person to judge this would be The person who is working at Bats R Us, the manager of the Bats R Us. I want to speak to your manager.
Mhm.
And Noctura and Lord Vampire are going to have a talent show that determines who deserves that last gem, rock, moonstone, such thing.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that. That's great.
Wow.
That's great. A talent show. That's Clay, you always surprise me. And you've done it once again. So I think I'm going to really go as the manager. Yes, we're going to have a talent show in the medieval Betsara shop.
Just what any retail manager wants people to do in their
Yeah.
store.
Right.
Yeah,
Immediately put on a
fight over the
talent
last
show.
product
With a talent show.
with a talent show. So, last thing you have to decide is the scale of the battle. Are the minions coming with you to the Batsaras? Are the bat clones coming? Is the man bats coming? Maybe even Lady Vampire, Bright Vampire. I don't know. You tell me. And now, Clay, it's your turn to start again.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this is just Lord Vampire versus Noctura. Just because if this is a gift, it feels like it should be a surprise. So I'm going to say it's just us there. No vehicles, no minions, nothing else with us.
Okay. Bethany, do you also?
I fully agree with this. Now, question, is it a talent show or a fashion show?
Is fashion a talent?
Oh.
Fashion could be someone's talent.
I mean, it could be. It is not mine. But it could be Noctura's talent.
I mean, as long as you can get the proper opinion conveyed to the manager, all is fine, right? You can say fashion is a talent.
Okay.
That's how your champion is going to compete. Yeah, then it's time to move over, Batman. It's time to kneel down, Basil the Bat Lord. There's a new Batmaster in town, and it's either Noctura or Lord Vampire. Are you ready?
We're ready!
Woo, yes, we are.
So, Clay, give me the rundown of the talent show. How is it going to go down?
Oh, okay. So Lord Vampire is up with his talent. And I do have to say, as fashionable as Noctura is, the printing on Lord Vampire is not bad. The one that comes in the mansion as well has this beautiful two cape thing. So if we were doing a fashion off, I feel like it's not just a closed case here. But Lord Vampire is going to say, I have a much more powerful talent, which is mind control. So, for his talent segment, Lord Vampire is going to mind control the workers at Bricks R Us into being efficient workers who are friendly to people, who clean up after themselves, and who are happy to get their pizza and soda and no pay raises. So, Lord Vampire is mind controlling these poor underpaid workers to be happy cogs in a machine as his talent.
That's so devious and so Lord
You gotta
Vampire.
keep it evil, right?
Well, Bethany, what is Noctura going to do against this much of an opposing force?
You mentioned that she has a strong motherly instinct.
Absolutely.
And to prove her motherly nature and her love for her little batlings, she is going to make dinner for said workers. She is going to make garlic chicken
Not
with
garlic.
garlic breadsticks
Keep that garlic out of
and a garlic fruit drink.
Wait, what? Garlic fruit drink?
I mean, it could
Now
happen.
this is Clay speaking who says to keep that away.
It could happen. Garlic milk.
Wait,
Say
am I
she
a
was a good
vampire
cook.
for real?
Sounds perfect. So, at the end of round 4, Bethany is sure that her Noctura is going to really convey to the manager that garlic food is the best and vampires are just meh. And Clay, you're of the opinion that the talent show will be won by your cruel drive to work. So, Clay, tell me why a garlic eating competition basically is not going to win this talent show.
I mean,
It'll win it
If
for me.
if the workers were the judges here, I think that they would love this. Like actually having someone who takes care of you, who treats you like people, who feeds you. Like this is a worker's paradise. But from my mind, if the manager is the judge of the talent show, I'm going to say this manager cares about efficiency and is an evil lord of
Mhm.
business. So, in my mind, that's why Vampire's going to win, is because capitalism and vampirism, like, these are parallels, right?
Well, we all know that every worker doesn't want a raise. He just wants a bit of pizza in the back office. That's like the
Just,
optimum.
exactly. Every worker in the world, that's all they need.
Absolutely. Bethany, you obviously share that opinion, but can you tell me why making every making everyone work tirelessly under mind control is not going to win the manager's favor?
Well, I mentioned that I'm making garlic milk, garlic chicken, garlic breadsticks, and the intent is to weaken Lord Vampire's abilities of mind control to set the workers free because I love them and the people.
Oh my. That really shows just like Noctura's mind working with like all of the plots and all of the trees in this thing.
I'm playing 3D chess, Clay.
Which is totally accurate, because like she actually created the villains of the first two elf waves. Shows she was actually in the show the mastermind all along. It was
Oh,
Noctura all along.
haha. Nickname Agatha.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
So that's actually a point in Bethany's camp, but I will say, Clay, you also have right. Just like, let me condense it for you. We have two evil bad lords traveling at the break of night to the little medieval village to collect a gift for their precious bad minions. When they get there, they see only one of these great gifts is left at the local Betsara store. And both of them want those. And in their probably frightening magical fight, the manager comes out, sees what's going on, and is like, we need to sell this in another way. We need a talent show. And Lord Vampire, as convicted as he is, and Noctura, as devious as she is, they both agree to this talent show because they know they got the strength to do this. And Lord Vampire starts with a pretty cool showmanship of capitalism, bringing workers to do their best for absolutely nothing. Like, I can really imagine all of the workers in the Better Us store just having to dance against the will and like putting stuff on the shelves. And maybe even having to sing like a good musical number where the vampire is naturally the main role. So I love that. And afterwards, Noctara comes on stage, already knowing she's going to win because she's going to start cooking and doing all of these amazing garlic dishes. And the manager is like, yeah, I love garlic bread. I love all of that. But then, just randomly, all of the mind controlled workers just stop doing the work and look around. Wait, why am I here? Help! I'm trapped. I've fallen into the river.
Why am I doing work at my place of employment?
When I could have excellent garlic dishes.
That's right.
And so all of them start eating. And I think at the end, even the cold-hearted Bats Are Us manager back in the medieval village is going to have to agree that garlic dishes are just the best. And I'm actually going to give this win to Bethany, who, who has now the final choice and can finish Lord Vampire. So, Bethany, just as a wrap up, just tell me what will happen after Noctura has won.
Well, Noctura is genius, devious, and always playing three steps ahead. She recognizes that making a formidable enemy in Lord Vampire would be a poor mistake. So, she offers as a consolation the ability to partner together in world domination of all
Ooh.
Bat Kingdom place thing. idea. Nouns and verbs. All of it. She does all of it all together.
And then we franchise Bats R Us and take it worldwide.
We say, screw the manager. We'll make enough toys for everyone.
I love that. Just like Lego Batman said, build everything in black. Black is the best color. Or something like that. I didn't
Yeah.
watch the movie.
I only build in black and
I
sometimes
only build in
shades of
black.
dark gray.
Dark
Exactly.
bluish gray.
It's time for all of those underrepresented bad characters to step the game up in the Lego themes. Thank you for coming to the arena tonight, and I hope to see you next time.
Oh my goodness, that was so fun.
That was wild.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being willing to come on and host that. And I mean, you were the right person to give us Lego lore lessons. I have gone and added multiple minifigs to my Bricklink wanted list during
Yes.
this conversation. I have to say, Noctura is expensive.
Oh,
I'm gonna
is
have
she?
to look. Yeah,
She
she's
only
like-
was in one set. That's the reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I thought she was in two.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw 2 in Bricklink.
She's in Tourist Tower and Earth Fox Rescue.
Oh, in Fox Rescue she's too. Okay, yeah, no. Then
She is technically, in air quotes, in the Elven Star Tree Bat Attack
yeah, because she's the giant bat.
because she's the giant bat,
Oh,
right?
in
So
her
she's not
bat
in
form.
mini doll
Yeah,
form
that's what
there.
I thought of.
And then she is also in Emily and Noctura's showdown with her super awesome 1920s bat carriage.
Yeah.
That's just
Stunning, right?
absolutely stunning.
I
All
will
of those
say,
colors,
too,
just like perfect. I really wish I was more into the elf theme when it released. It's just like
Yes.
the Lord of the Rings theme. So you look back and you're like, man, I want that.
As soon as we get off this podcast, I'm immediately going and checking with my daughter if she has any
Has a
Noctura
Noctura.
sets, because I'm now a fan.
truly. You know, you were talking about how CMFs and different sets like will bring Lego lore back.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, in Andrea's theater school, there is a sticker of Noctura as like one of the plays
Correct.
in the
What?
theater.
Yes, yes, she actually appears as the. It kind of hints like that. The elf theme is actually a musical in the Friends setting. That's
Oh
so
my-
fun.
That would make so much sense, wouldn't it, though?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Totally.
how cool. Well, thank you so much, Felix. This was incredibly fun, and I think we might have some new fans of Monster Fighters and Elves. I know that, like, they're things we talked about loving together, but I'm now seriously wanting to go to that resale store and see which sets I can get from there without, feeling terrible for spending way too much money on retired and used sets.
That's
Yeah.
always the danger.
For sure.
Always the hard part. But for those of y'all listening, if y'all have ideas for any other fun games you want us to play, we always want to hear that from you. So share that with us. Especially share ideas or what you like about the games we've played so far in the Tips and Bricks Patreon Discord. And we look forward to having more fun with y'all in the future. That truly was such fun.
That was.
Absolutely
Yeah, I
God.
love
loved
that.
I laughed hard enough. I hurt my surgery site.
Oh no.
I should have worn a binder. So
You have to call your doctor now and be like,
yeah.
well, I was playing Arena, so.
He was like, "You were doing what?" And I was like, "No, it's okay. I was a Bat Lord, defeater, and so it's fine."
Oh,
That'd be
that is
like,
wild. I loved
Honestly, I
it.
thought we were going to go totally with the racetrack. Like I was already guessing, like the Hearst set is really famous. I thought, Clay, you want to go for the racetrack.
race.
But like
Why
a talent
would I?
show, I did see that coming.
Why would I go with something I could lose? Of course, I'm not going to do a race.
I mean, you could have flown as a bat.
Yeah,
potentially.
that's true.
Okay, sure.
I loved where we went, though. It was such
Yes.
fun.
The shadow is always close behind, you know.
That's right. Oh my goodness. It is time to move on to our question of the week. Every episode, we share a burning question about Lego that we'll answer together. We also want to hear what you guys, our listeners, have to say. So if you want to listen back to previous episodes of Questions of the Week and continue our conversation, whether on Instagram or on our Patreon Discord, more details can be found in the show notes for this episode of how you can do that. So the question we've prepared this week is in part to celebrate the fact that Felix is joining us from Germany. Now, Felix, I think this was so cool when I found out where you are in Germany is where my family came from, the same area. That was just super fun and such a small world moment. Clay and I are both in the US, but we're in completely different regions. I'm in the Midwest, he's in the Southeast. We each have our own experiences in our regional communities. With that in mind, our question of the week is, what is the Lego community like where you live? Felix, I'll throw it to you first.
Well, thanks. So let me start by saying we obviously do have like great lucks in every different state. There's like another big one. We have cool conventions all over. But like in the region I live, the biggest luck is definitely Schwarmstein, who actually does really cool things. I'm not a member at the moment. I was like, either I'm going to join Tips and Bricks if the application goes through, or I'm going to join the Schwabenstein community. So like, well, you know who won.
Well, we're really glad to have you.
Well,
That's
thank
the
you.
next arena battle. Tips and bricks versus your local lug.
No, it's really cool this kind of stuff they do. Like, I was going to my local library, which is not in the main city, so it's like a small library, and I just walk in, and there's loads of display cases with Lego in them, just randomly in
Wow.
my library. And I actually find out that like Schwabenstein does like the mock showcases, just traveling through the state I live in. So like you could
Oh,
go to
that's
like
cool.
public spaces like a library and even like smaller regions, smaller cities and stuff. Like you can go in the library and suddenly find like mocks, which was such a cool moment.
That is super cool. I feel like obviously you can go see them at a convention or something if you're purposely seeking them out, but to just be in a public space where there are probably lots of people who, may have some familiarity with Lego, but probably haven't seen that many mocks, if any. That's so cool that they're just in regular public spaces for anyone.
Totally, like I was going there to get a good book, obviously, but like I spent like the next 20 minutes just running around through the entire 3 floors of the library searching all of the mocks. And man, some of those could really fit in a Tips and Bricks post, like great building techniques sometimes. It's just such a cool find, and I really am glad that the Schwarmstein and other Lux in Germany do things like that.
My local lug, Peach Lug, which is based out of Atlanta, Georgia, they would do challenges after each meeting of something, a certain theme that we should be building. But we do have two Lego stores in Atlanta, and one of them has a display window that they reserve specifically for our lug. I've always appreciated that the Lego store themselves has a dedicated space to kind of celebrate builders within our local community.
Yeah.
That's totally awesome. And like another cool thing they did is like, I want to say 1.5 years ago, I went to the castle in Ludwigsburg. It's like a really beautiful castle with like this beautiful, like Versailles-esque garden. You can go there only for the cool garden with all the cool flowers. But like in the lower space of the castle, they do these art exhibitions. Schwarmstein actually puts on gigantic displays of like multiple Lego cities and stuff in this castle in the lower area. And that's also really special and something a little bit different to the conventions. Because like they do the conventions, they go to Comic Con and Stuttgart specifically and also do like a giant Lego thing there with tons of builders, tons of mocks, and tons of activities. Just like in a castle, putting this stuff is also really cool.
That is. Are there places that you can go see displays locally, Bethany, other than what you show off yourself?
Yeah, so that's a complicated question. There in my city, there is no official Lego store. I have to drive
Mm.
over an hour away to get to one. But I live in an area that has a ton of engineers and scientists in our community. And so there's a lot of research that has gone on in my hometown that has like we've got an engineer center, like all this stuff. The love of Lego runs deep in our community, so even though we don't have a show per se, we can go to the National Air Force Museum and they'll put on a Lego display of everything from Star Wars to the NASA program. Near where I live, we have a brick shop, so that's a non-Lego store, and they have all sorts of displays and they display some of my things there, so we have that ability. But as far as an AFL run mock driven Lego show, there's not one in my state that I know of.
Wow.
I know, right? Like, how is this possible? So I'm currently working with a show that does different sites around the US. Hopefully that next fall we're going to have one in my hometown. And we're going to invite lugs from all around the state and neighboring states to participate and
Mhm.
hopefully have a huge turnout. But there's a huge love of Lego where I live. First Lego League, the robotics thing, is
Mhm.
very huge around here. Our area has like the home office and a whole bunch of stuff. There's a love of Lego without places for people to gather for community. So I'm thankful for my brick shop that is trying to build that community by having monthly events. But a lot of my community has been online because I don't know, it's weird. Like everybody loves Lego, but there's like nowhere easily to do it outside of our local brick shop what they've been doing. And our, our brick shop's been killing it. Like they do these fantastic events, but it's still just weird. Like, guys, we all love Lego. What are we doing? Let's get together
Yeah.
and do stuff.
I do appreciate though that it's more than just a storefront to make money, but it's also kind of become a hub for Lego lovers, which I
Yes.
think is a great thing for some of those resale stores to be leaders in that space is really cool.
And that's what they intentionally did when they started it is they wanted not to just be a store but be a community center, and they've definitely pulled it off. It's wonderful.
And I know, Felix, you had shared that there's a Lego museum opening, or it has been opened in your area of Germany too?
Yeah, so that's actually interesting because like last year I found out like there's loads of Lego museums all over Europe. There's one in Switzerland, there's one in the Czech Republic, one in Poland, one in northern Germany. And in the last 2 years, a big YouTuber in the German Lego space has emerged, called the Brick Story, and the second channel called Bob Brickman with another person. And these two actually have started in the last 2 years opening a Lego museum in my neighboring state. So that's like Bayern near Munich, or as Lego likes to call it in the Orient Express, München. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah, no, that was so funny. Yeah, they have started like their own Lego museum in Rosenheim, and they have like released a new video every week almost since 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And they actually are on the second museum right now because the first museum was too small. And it's just like this really interesting YouTube series because Bob Brickman actually does like just a gigantic town build. If you want to see like the most put together Lego town I've ever seen, it's not like the typical modular town with like the bigger city landscape. It's like the more smaller city landscape with
Okay.
like big mountains, like more
Uh-huh.
southern Germany-esque.
Oh, is he on YouTube?
Yes,
Oh, I
Bob
love
Brickman.
that channel. That guy's amazing.
So cool. And this giant city is basically sitting in the museum. And he does like the whole city videos about building this gigantic city with like trains running through it and all of that. So cool.
Is it something that people can visit in person now?
6 months, I want to say, six
Oh,
months
okay.
ago, it actually opened for the public, and it's now
Hmm.
open like I think 4 or 5 days a week. And actually, on the lowest floor is their Lego store, so you can find lots of collectible minifigures there.
Mm.
It's very interesting. Cool sets, most of them modern. They do such things with Lego and stuff. That's really cool. And then you go up, and again, look up Brick Story if you want to see all of the cool rooms they have built. Like they have a Star Wars room with like every Star Wars miniature ever just on the wall in like a cool case and like gigantic Star Wars mocks. There were a few really popular mocks in the community last year of like this gigantic Star Wars diorama. I think we actually also covered it in one of our posts where the AT-AT is walking through water towards a rebel base.
Mm.
That's like was really popular last year. It was like 2 meters times 1 meter or something. And it was
Wow.
actually kind of built partially by a local lug. This mock is actually also in the museum, and they do actually like mock showcases there. That's also really cool. And yeah, they just have tons of mocks and tons of sets there. It's like so cool, specifically because you can really see the 2 years journey they had to get this museum running. Like they had the original location, and you can see like they experimented, redid the whole museum wall, did like new windows, did all of that. And then they moved on to the new location because the old one was too small, and they started again. And like there was this whole
Wow.
era where they tried to open a brickling store.
Huh.
It didn't work, just to be fair. It didn't work really long. Like it was a total fiasco. Like they really were like running a brickling store is hard. I think Clay, you can relate.
I mean, mine is super tiny, so it's much more manageable for me. But no, it is not always the most fun and enjoyable job. I will agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so like you have some videos going on like how is the revenue in the brickling store and why doesn't it work? And it's really just interesting to see all of that data you normally don't see. And also which sets are really selling well, which aren't, and all of those cool things you just see in the in this YouTube channel. Now I have to add, obviously, it's a German museum. So that like yeah, sorry for all the non-German speakers on the who are listening to this podcast, but like I'm sure all of the German speakers already know this museum, and I really want to go there next year.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be on your list.
Yeah,
Maybe when some of the team comes to Europe, whether it's for fan media days or Scareback or whatever else in the future, maybe there will be time for them to carve out and come over there and visit the museum with you in the future. We'll see.
yeah, that sounds fun. And now, Clay, how is it in your region with the Lux?
Yeah, so we have one lug in Atlanta, which is very active. Really, where I've spent the most time with them is at a convention. So we have Atlanta BrickCon, which is a
Mm.
relatively new convention, and it has met in Atlanta the past couple years. It's growing bigger every year, and was such fun to participate in this past year. It was my first display ever, so it was fun doing a kind of Winter Village mock. But our lug also has, I guess, a train display is the best way to describe it, where people bring their own segments. So there's city elements. There's also a moon base that we do, which is
Oh.
amazing. So there's all these modulars that fit together, a monorail, and also people have built very clever space builds in there, such as like, there's a space Waffle House and a Starbucks, and just some of the fun things in our Peach Lug moon base. So, I mean, it's not, I don't live in Atlanta, so it's a drive for me to be able to get to meetings. Even though I have two Lego stores in Atlanta, it's still not something I can be like, oh, let me just pop into the store and see what they have on the pick a brick wall. It's like mostly a day trip for me to get up there, get to see something, and come back home. Even though it's much more accessible than it is to others, like Bethany doesn't have a Lego store anywhere close,
Mm.
it's still not something that I can just run to every day. So, in some ways, I'm very spoiled and privileged to have a busy lug, to have some cool resale stores, and have official Lego stores.
Well, thanks, Clay and Felix, for sharing your answers to the question of the week. For those of you who maybe want to learn more about global Lego communities, we actually did two posts fairly recently about those. Post 2172 and 2180. That's a part one and part two of global Lego communities that you can check them out and learn a little bit more about participating in the Lego community.
Right, so that is all we have for today's episode of the Tips and Bricks podcast. Thank y'all both for being here with us today. Felix, do you have any final thoughts? Any projects you're working on? Anything you want to share with us?
Well, I'm soon going to Scareback, probably already were there when this episode releases, but to all of those cool Tips and Bricks listeners I met there, hello. That was fun meeting you, I presume. And yeah, very excited to get to see you in like a few weeks.
And please tell our listeners where they can find you on Instagram and maybe see some of the behind the scenes work that you do for the Tips and Bricks team.
Well, you can actually go to it's Binomorph2, so that's a name. SPINOMORPH2. Actually, the Mercedes SS car pictures are going to go up there like tomorrow or the day after.
Ooh,
So
so by the
of
time they
the
hear this, it's already up.
it's already out and you can have a
Perfect.
glorious look at this beautiful car. And yeah, I will definitely put the Pearl the Third theme tune, which is just a banger on the post.
And if you didn't get a chance to write down Felix's handle, you can catch it in the show notes where you can see it to follow him. Don't forget, you can continue the conversation with us at Tips and Bricks on Instagram. You know what, Clay, as hosts, we sometimes forget to tell where people can find us. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Oh yeah, I guess we do exist outside of Tips and Bricks, don't we?
We sure
Um,
do.
I am at Brick This Way on Instagram. I haven't been posting as much lately, though. Like I said, I'm really getting into these D&D minifigs, so I was already taking some pictures this morning of the little creations I have with them. So I'm gonna try to do some more posting throughout the fall and winter, especially as I start to unpack and reconfigure my winter village. So yeah, y'all can catch all that at Brick This Way. What about you, Bethany?
You
I
can
know.
find you can find me online on Instagram as at Interactive Bricks. I also have a teeny tiny YouTube channel by the same name at Interactive Bricks. And we've just launched a Tips and Bricks YouTube channel. So we're trying to put podcast episodes up there, some of our favorite reels as shorts. So maybe worth checking out if you want to support us in that way. And if you want to join us on Patreon, I know that we keep saying join us on Patreon, but really it's because we want to get to know you better. Like, this is our
Mhm.
way of being able to get to know people outside of social media algorithms where we can just get to know you. So please come join us. We would love to get to know you and join you on your Lego journey.
Yeah, and Bethany, I mean, you're right that we do mention the Patreon more than once, but we have found such incredible builders through it who have joined and shared what they're doing at scabram.builds. That's SKABRAM.builds. Has shared incredible bird mocks that he builds
Mm,
that are super realistic and use parts in such ingenious ways. So I love the Patreon just because we get to know other builders, and we have like channels where we show off mocks and get feedback on them. So it's just a fun place to get to know other people, and I love having more voices and faces in there.
absolutely.
Totally.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we also would love for y'all to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. When you leave a review, it helps other listeners like y'all and other AFOLs around the world find us. So until next time, I'm Clay here with Bethany and Felix, and we are signing off. Happy
Happy
building!
building, everyone.
Bye.